You know, one of the best things we can do as far as a self-help things is concerned as a Christian is to read some excellent books on prayer. Of course, the Bible is the ultimate. It's the ultimate book that gives us a good schooling and a great education in how to pray. Just to read the prayers of Moses, look at how Hannah prayed, Elijah, Daniel, Jesus, Paul. We really get an excellent education by reading the Bible's teachings on prayer and then the examples of great men and women of prayer in the Bible. After that, of course, we learn by actually doing, by praying and by praying with others. That helps us to grow as men and women of prayer. But there's a third thing we can do, one I just want to really recommend. It's been so beneficial to me and I'm sure to many other people, and that is to read some really good cutting-edge books on prayer. And I just want to recommend three. The first one is The Complete Works of E.M. Bounds on Prayer. This is actually not one book, but 8 books. And you can read some of these for free online. For example, his book, The Reality of Prayer, The Weapon of Prayer, The Necessity of Prayer. You can read them online or buy them from the bookstore. And I just want to recommend E.M. Bounds. Even though he wrote in the late 1800s, and he is regarded as possibly the most prolific author on prayer in history, even though he wrote so long ago, he is still so very readable, so easy to understand. Have you ever read a book that you thought wasn't just helpful, but it was pivotal in your Christian experience, even marking a turning point in your life, facilitating a thinking shift? That was certainly true for me with this book by E.M. Bounds when I read it in 1996, and I certainly would encourage everyone to read his writings. The next book I recommend is a little newer. This is Mighty Prevailing Prayer. This was written in 1990 by Wesley Jewell, who was a missionary for many years in India. And Wesley Jewell's penned an excellent book here, some good teaching and instruction on prayer, but also some inspiring stories. He tells stories of amazing answers to prayer. So it's quite easy to read and really an inspiring book. I'd recommend that one. And finally, this classic, With Christ in the School of Prayer by Andrew Murray, a missionary to South Africa. And this book is just excellent. I read it in 1997 and I'm just revisiting it now and reading it a second time. And he just takes you through some of the teachings and promises of Jesus on prayer and just blows those out and expands and talks about what they mean. It's really coming from a man who's not just writing theory, but he was a man of prayer. So he's writing from experience. And I'd certainly recommend this book to anyone. It's such an excellent read. So these are just 3 great books. There's other books, and I just encourage any young people who are interested in really developing to be, a man of prayer, a woman of prayer. I encourage you to cut your teeth on some of these really good, deep Christian books.